So each ABARTH 595 adventure starts with the keychain, which flips out. Then you open the door. You have access to a very nice shiny leather interior and all kinds of nice gadgets. Then you, of course, there is the contact point. Put the key in, and then you bring it to life. Also the navigation directly into the modus. And then you enjoy your car. That's it. Simple as can be. So you put the car in reverse. In this case, MTA transmission. So this is a robotized manual. And you can enjoy the exhaust, which is a record Monza in this case. So 4 exhaust pipes. Little scooter just passing through. And the record Monza gives a fantastic exhaust. Still dampened exhaust system, but it sounds delicious. It's now of course cold, but on the overrun, or if you release the gas or shift or whatever, it gives it nice warm burbles, pops and bangs. If you love these type of cars, then you will know what I'm talking about. Roundabouts are very nice in ABARTH because you have very wide tires which offer very good grip. You have 17-inch alloys, which are also nice, not extremely lightweight, but also quite strong and not very heavy to begin with either. So it sits in between. It has nice aesthetics, little bit Alpha-like aesthetics. Although I must say that a lot of the Alpha rims are looking even better, especially that of the 156 GTA. I really love those rims. They're more Lamborghini type of rims in my opinion. Some leaves are on the road on the roundabout. Gives a little bit of leeway. So you shift by just using the pedals. That gives you a lot of control. This is an automatic transmission, but you can also shift with the pedals, so that gives you additional layers that you can enjoy instead of just howling around on the automatic. Hope you like this video. Found a new car out. ABARTH time again. We'll discuss how the ABARTH fares for the school run. So first, what is the school run? You take your children and you drop them off to school. Or on the other hand, if you're going to pick them up again. So this is oftentimes a lot of urban traffic, and then ABARTH is quite good at it. And why is it? Because you have a very small frame. It's an A segment type of car, like an Igo or the likes, or an Ignis, the new generation. The earlier generation was a bigger car, and by doing so you can easily park it everywhere. You can also, because it's not that wide, move it through obstruction. So for example, if there is a truck there, or there are some cars parked, this is easier to be done with the ABARTH. Also you have pleasure because you still have this excellent record Monza sound. But for example, dump truck is going to pick up dump and is then obstructing. You have a bigger chance that you can mitigate traffic with this smaller nimble, short wheelbase type of car than you would have with a bigger car, like for example Tesla Model S. Also the Swift is considerably wider. Now again, there's someone parking on the street and I can just move along even on the right side. Because it's so short, there's a short wheelbase, so it can easily be put through places. It's very agile. It's also sounding excellent, so even without using your klaxon, you can still let people know that you're coming and that they should back up. So that's the fun thing. It's not extremely good on fuel. Then the Swift that does a better job, is more modern car. It also has a mild hybrid system. It also is not as good as the Swift getting in and out of the car, because it only has 3 doors, wide doors. So it depends if you have to pick up more than one child, for example 2 or 3, then the Swift does a better job. Also the Swift has seating for up to 5. This has seating up to 4. So you might not be able to take all the children with you if you have a very big family, or if you're going to take friends of them with you as well. That will be harder in the ABARTH as compared to the Suzuki Swift Sport. So please take that into consideration. All in all, I think it's an excellent type of car, also for the school run, especially if your family is not that big and that you're going through heavy traffic and also are competing for parking space. And this might be one of the best bets, especially if you also want to have a little bit of fun, because there's no other A-segment type of car that sounds as good as this car. I think even the B segment and C segment will be hard pressed to sound better than this. Perhaps an Audi RS3, because it has that glorious 5-cylinder engine, but apart from that it will be hard. There's no turbo 4-cylinder that sounds better, in my opinion. And of course, because this is a 595C, so this is a convertible, also at summer days you can pick them up and they can enjoy some wind in their hair, and you also enjoy, if you're sitting there waiting, you can still sunbathe even in your car. So it's a nice environment. Also the leather could be colder in the days when it's freezing, for example, could be also a little bit hotter at very hot days. So there are some drawbacks, but it really is very plush and really excellent. Foundry car out. Good morning. Today we'll discuss the ABARTH as a school run car. So I already made a video about my ABARTH 595C MTA Turismo as a school run car. But today we will discuss something else, and that's the new ABARTH. So the ABARTH 500E as a school run car will be better than the ICE version, so the internal combustion engine that's gasoline propelled, or will the electric version be worse? I think it will be better, and I will explain why. What makes the ABARTH 595 a good city run car or a school run car? It is very compact, it's nimble, it's not too wide, so you can go to obstructions with ease, and you can park it also with ease because it's not too long. All these characteristics are maintained with the ABARTH electric, but there are some things to be different. It's longer, so you need more room to park. With the electric version it's also wider, so you cannot maneuver as good through obstructions, and you still, especially in the ABARTH, you still have the 3-door capacity. There's also a +1 with a regular Fiat, so they could make it so that you have one small door at one side of your car that you can also let children get out, so then you have 4 doors. That can be beneficial, especially if you're hauling around and you're taking more children with you. You also are still limited to the 4 seats that the ABARTH has. Also this ABARTH that I'm driving now, and you will not have this glorious exhaust sound, which also helps you to clear the road, and children will oftentimes also love it, so it will bring a smile to your face next to your environment. But why would the electric version then still be better? Oftentimes the school run is a relatively short distance. Also the ABARTH, the internal combustion engine, is not very good on fuel, especially on the short burst, and it cannot heat up properly. With an electric engine you don't have this drawback. First off, it goes on electricity and it will function very well, especially at relatively low speeds. Also you have regeneration, so even if you're not accelerating you can recuperate some of the energy, so the cost of that it will be quite low. And the other thing is, it does not have to warm up that much as compared to an electric, to a gasoline powered engine. So this is the benefit. The that you can exploit the power easier and sooner in the electric version. And also being an electric version, you will have the power directly, instantaneously, torque, and also the horsepower, which can be beneficial. Another thing to consider is that it's not so much for me, but a lot of people will consider this. There is a social pressure now to go to electric cars, and you will have one of the most fun electric cars available when you go with ABARTH. And you can still say, if that is your trick, yeah, I'm driving electric for the environment. And you might even add, because it's not that heavy, it will not destroy the roads that much and will not cost as much to produce. So you could play that card if that sits with you. For me myself, I would never do this. I would not. I think when you have a car that has these benefits, of course you can, and oftentimes they will also say, yeah, I paid enough money for it, because electric cars are quite expensive. But hey, if you see what it is costing now, and you will say you have one of the latest internal combustion engine cars, because it's the last time that you can use it, there's nothing wrong with that either. And why is there nothing wrong with it? Because it will fade away regardless, and it's also a big part of history. That being said, the ABARTH will be better for the environment in the long run if you can run it a longer time. If you're not running it a long time, I think it will cost more to produce for the environment, especially the batteries that they use. And also for gasoline powered cars, you can make bioethanol, so you just can make also gasoline just from the land, and then all these things that it is consuming dinosaurs, or it's a dinosaur type of car, are all things of the past, with all the new additions that they can make. So even in gasoline they have made quite some advances, which can counter a lot of the drawbacks. And of course you need still need a fluid, a fuel, and also you still get CO2 out of your system. But electric cars are often a lot more heavy, and they could add additional fine dust. The benefit, however, of an electric car is that they also have recuperative braking, and thereby are not using the wheel brakes as much, so less brake dust, which is also a good thing. So it's quite a puzzle here on the environmental part. But let's not go into this topic into depth. We talked about the school run. I think it's an excellent choice. There are some drawbacks. Without the noise, it will be harder for people, especially pedestrians and children, to notice you. But ABARTH also made a sound. Fiat also made a nice sound, so they can do this. And of course, it will then not be that so much of a trouble anymore. Also, you will not have the smiles that you have with the popping of this exhaust, but you will have the smiles of the instantaneous torque. It's always there, and that you don't have to wait for it to warm up all the time for the short burst, which is not a good thing for a gasoline powered car. So you will have a longer life also from your car if you have electric car. Also the battery will not be a problem, because all short runs you can start with a full tank every day, so that's also not a drawback. There's decent range, so for in a city or a little bit out of the city this will be fine, very fine. So don't worry, this is a good choice to be making if you're willing to. There are better choices, however. If you have another small electric car, for example a Cupra Born, this has even more power on tap, and also it has more doors that you can exploit. So if you were going to that route, you will be better off perhaps also with the electric Peugeot 208, I guess. I think it's 208 now. That would also be a good choice with the Opel Corsa E. That are all excellent choices that are perhaps even better than the ABARTH, especially also on the price point that you're getting and the quality. But the ABARTH will be a very nice car. Found my car out. And I'm doing this movie, of course, from the seats of my ABARTH 595C. So an internal combustion engine ABARTH. And this will all be things of the past. Have a great day. Found a car.